Fan Zhendong, let's start with the moment that sent shockwaves through the entire table tennis world. The table tennis world was shaken early in the tournament when Fan Zhendong faced Tomakazu Harimoto. Fan, the longtime world #1, is a player everyone fears. Harimoto, part of a new generation who grew up watching Fan dominate, wasn't intimidated. From the first serve, he played like he had nothing to lose, and it showed. Set 1, Harimoto came out fearless, hitting fast, relentless shots that left Fan scrambling. He took the first set 11-2, shocking the crowd and putting the favorite on the back foot. Set 2, Harimoto kept up the pressure, edging out Fan 11-9. Even the legendary composure of Fan Zhendong looked slightly unsettled as Harimoto sensed the opening. Set 3, Fan regrouped and dominated. He forced Harimoto onto defense and took the set 11-4, showing why he's a world champion. Set 4, Fan carried his momentum, turning tight rallies into counterattacks. He pulled ahead and closed the set 11-7, leveling the match and setting up a thrilling final stretch. Set 5, Harimoto came out blazing, keeping Fan on the back foot. His quick attacks and fearless placement earned him the set 11-4, putting Fan under real pressure. Set 6, Fan regrouped, tightening his serves and counterattacks. Slowly but surely, he regained control, taking the set 11-7 and keeping his hopes alive. Set 7, momentum on Fan's side, he played with precision and composure. Harimoto fought hard, but Fan closed the final set 11-7, completing a thrilling comeback. But the story doesn't end there. Even after Fan Zhendong battled back to claim victory in a thrilling 7-set final, another shockwave was unfolding on the other side of the draw. Truls Moregard from Sweden was quietly dismantling opponent after opponent, his unconventional style leaving everyone scrambling for answers. The Olympic final began with a shock. Truls Moregard, the young Swedish challenger, came out firing, mixing spins, disguising serves, and attacking with fearless precision. Fan Zhendong, the world's best and heavy favorite, was on the back foot from the very first rally. The points slipped away faster than anyone expected, and before long, the scoreboard read 11-7 to Moregard. The arena buzzed with disbelief. Fan had just lost the opening set of the biggest match in table tennis, and suddenly the narrative shifted. Was the king about to be dethroned by an underdog? The match lasted 5 sets, and while Moregard fought valiantly and showed flashes of brilliance, Fan Zhendong ultimately seized control when it mattered most. Every rally tested both players, but Fan's experience and composure carried him through. In the end, it was Fan who raised the 2024 Olympic gold, a triumph of skill, strategy, and unwavering focus, while Moregard's valiant effort earned him admiration from the crowd and the world. I'll be sharing more inspiring stories like this one, so if you believe in underdogs and love Olympic moments, subscribe and drop a like to help others discover it too. Ma Long, let's start with one of the most remarkable comeback stories in modern table tennis. Ma Long, widely considered one of the greatest players of all time, faced what many thought would be a career-ending challenge in 2019. Just imagine being at the absolute peak of your sport, holding multiple world championships, and then suddenly your body betrays you. Ma Long suffered a severe knee injury that required immediate surgical intervention. This wasn't just any minor setback. This was the kind of injury that forces athletes to question whether they'll ever compete again at the highest level. The timing couldn't have been worse. With the Tokyo 2020 Olympics looming on the horizon, Ma Long found himself in an operating room instead of a training facility. While his competitors were perfecting their techniques and building match fitness, he was learning to walk properly again. The rehabilitation process was grueling, involving months of physical therapy, strength training, and gradually working his way back to competitive form. Many sports analysts began writing obituaries for his Olympic dreams, suggesting that even if he recovered physically, the mental challenge of returning after such a significant injury would be insurmountable. But here's where Ma Long's story becomes truly extraordinary. Instead of viewing his injury as a defeat, he transformed it into motivation. During his recovery period, He studied game footage with unprecedented intensity, analyzing his opponent's weaknesses and developing new strategic approaches. He worked with sports psychologists to maintain his mental edge while his body healed. Most importantly, he never lost sight of his ultimate goal, Olympic gold in Tokyo. When Ma Long finally returned to competition, he wasn't just the same player who had gotten injured. He was better. His serve had evolved, his defensive game was more sophisticated, and his mental toughness had reached new heights. The surgery and rehabilitation had forced him to approach the game from entirely new angles, ultimately making him a more complete competitor. When the Tokyo Olympics finally arrived, delayed by a year due to the pandemic, Ma Long was not only ready to compete, but prepared to dominate. His performance in Tokyo was nothing short of masterful. Match after match, he demonstrated the perfect blend of technical excellence and strategic brilliance that had been refined during his recovery period. The knee that had threatened to end his career became the foundation for one of the most impressive Olympic victories in table tennis history. Ma Long's triumph proved that sometimes our greatest obstacles become our greatest opportunities for growth. I'll be sharing more inspiring stories like this one. So if you believe in underdogs and love Olympic moments, subscribe and drop a like to help others discover it too. Sun Yingxia. Now let's shift our attention to another incredible underdog story that unfolded in the world of women's table tennis. In women's table tennis, Sun Yingxia's rise was the classic young challenger's story, taking down Olympic legends and reshaping the sport. Her clashes with 2016 Rio Olympic champion Ding Ning, one of the greatest in history, became a symbolic passing of the torch that signaled a new era. Sun Yingxia's rise to the top of table tennis didn't happen by accident. It was forged in the most intense crucible the sport has to offer, China's national table tennis training system. Every year, dozens of young prodigies enter this system with dreams of glory. Most never make it out. The competition is brutal. The training is relentless. Coaches expect perfection, not progress. If you have an off day, there's someone waiting to take your spot. From the very beginning, Sun stood out. Not because she was the tallest or the strongest, she wasn't, but she had an instinct for the game that was impossible to teach. She read the ball early, anticipated her opponent's choices, and always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. Combined with a fearlessness beyond her years, this made her a nightmare to play against. Her true breakthrough came against the one opponent most young players didn't dare to dream of beating, Ding Ning. To understand what that meant, you have to understand who Ding Ning was at the time. An Olympic champion, multiple world champion, a player who had dominated the sport for nearly a decade. Her aura alone could rattle opponents before the match even started. But when Sun stepped up to face her, she wasn't playing the role of up-and-comer hoping to learn. She was there to win. The match was a masterclass in intensity. The 2019 Australian Open final became the stage for one of the most decisive victories in recent table tennis history. Sun Yingxia didn't just defeat Ding Ning, she dominated the match with a commanding 4-0 victory that sent shockwaves throughout the table tennis community. This wasn't a lucky win or a close match that could have gone either way. It was a comprehensive demonstration of a new generation taking control of the sport. What made this victory even more remarkable was the way Sun Yingxia approached the match. Rather than being intimidated by Ding Ning's reputation and achievements, she played with the confidence and aggression of someone who believed she belonged on that stage. Her shot selection was bold, her movement was precise, and her mental composure under pressure was that of a seasoned champion. The match showcased not just Sun Yingxia's technical abilities, but her psychological readiness to compete against the sport's elite. This wasn't an isolated incident. Sun Yingxia continued to prove herself against top-level competition, including another impressive victory over Ding Ning in a T2 diamond match in Singapore. These consistent performances against established champions demonstrated that her success wasn't based on luck or a single exceptional day. Instead, it represented the emergence of a new force in women's table tennis who was ready to challenge the established order. Ding Ning's experience gave her the edge in the early rallies, controlling the pace and using her deceptive serves to keep Sun guessing. But Sun didn't back down. Point by point, she adjusted. She started taking the ball earlier, attacking before Ding could set up her patterns. Her forehand drives landed with ruthless precision, and her backhand flicks neutralized Ding's short game. By the final points, Sun was dictating the rallies. And when she won, it wasn't just a victory, it was a signal. A new era was beginning. That same fearless mindset carried Sun to the 2024 Paris Olympics. But this time, she wasn't just chasing singles glory, she was entering the mixed doubles event with Wang Chuqin, a powerhouse in his own right. On paper, they were a strong pair. On the court, they became an unstoppable force. Wang's explosive forehands paired perfectly with Sun's lightning-quick reactions and tactical creativity. Their chemistry was obvious from the first match. Round after round, they dismantled world-class pairs. Sun's court coverage was extraordinary. She darted from corner to corner, retrieving balls that seemed impossible, then turning defense into attack in a blink. Wang unleashed thunderous winners that left opponents frozen. Between points, their communication was quiet but constant. A quick nod, a hand gesture, an unspoken adjustment. They didn't just play matches, they orchestrated them. The gold medal final was their biggest test. Their opponents came in with a clear strategy: target Sun to break the rhythm. But she handled the pressure like a champion, countering every shot with crisp precision. When she stepped around for a forehand down the line, the crowd gasped. It was a shot you'd expect in a highlight reel, not under Olympic final pressure. Wang backed her up with fearless attacks, and together they kept the scoreboard in their favor. Match point arrived. A blistering rally unfolded. Smashes, counter-smashes, edge-of-the-table saves. Sun stayed calm, reading the play until the opening came. She flicked a sharp angle to pull their opponents wide. Wang pounced on the return, and with one final crack of the paddle, it was over. Gold for China. The celebration was pure joy. Sun threw her arms around Wang, both grinning like kids. The Chinese flag was raised, the anthem played, and reality sank in. Sun Yingxia and Wang Chuqin were the 2024 Olympic mixed doubles champions. For Sun, this wasn't just about adding another medal to her collection. It was about proving she could dominate at the very highest level in both singles and doubles, under the brightest lights and the heaviest pressure. It was about showing that the young player who once shocked Ding Ning had evolved into a leader, a reliable partner, and an all-around force the table tennis world would have to reckon with for years to come. Her story, from the relentless training halls of China to dethroning living legends to standing proudly on the Olympic podium, is the kind of journey that inspires not just aspiring athletes, but anyone chasing a dream against impossible odds. It's a reminder that greatness isn't handed out, it's built point by point, setback by setback, until the world has no choice but to notice. Somewhere right now, a young player is glued to a replay of her matches, heart pounding, thinking, if she can do it, maybe I can too. And that thought alone might be the spark that creates the next Sun Yingxia. If you enjoyed this story, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.